Here comes round 3 in the Premier League this weekend, and here are my predictions. 5 out of 10 correct for me last time out. Needless to say, my Premier League predictions are going a little bit better than my Championship predictions at the moment. But don't worry, we'll get there. As ever, get involved with your forecasts down there in the comments. Newcastle United versus Manchester City. I'm already looking at this league and thinking, right, where exactly are Manchester City going to drop points? Surely, if Pep's men turn up to games like this one and keep on winning, it might turn into yet another exceedingly high point scoring season at the Etihad. Newcastle are looking way more competitive than they have done in a long while. And perhaps, I'm saying this more in hope for the league being competitive than expectation. Big Geordie crowd, Newcastle yet to concede. Go on. Draw Bournemouth v Arsenal. Arsenal actually good now? I guess we're going to find out at Bournemouth. If they are, then it's a game that they'll feel very confident of winning. Any signs of that old flakiness though, and Bournemouth will be on them and hoping for a similar outcome to that Villa game on opening day. I know, Cherries fans, this is the 3rd time in a row, and I hope I'm wrong, but I do think Arsenal will be better going to the Vitality than Aston Villa were. Away! Fulham versus Brentford. It is a dearly departed derby at the Cottage, and both sides are undefeated. Brentford, understandably, the darlings of the last game week after hammering Manchester United. I'm sure Fulham fans, though, would also have happily taken an undefeated start against Liverpool at home and Wolves away before a ball was kicked. Should be a nice feisty derby game, and if Fulham can show that level of energy they did, particularly early on against Liverpool, I think there's something there for them, but maybe not a victory. Draw Spurs versus Wolves. So Wolves have lost to Leeds and drawn with Fulham. I think Spurs is the hardest test yet, and they're doing it on enemy ground also. Perhaps Spurs got away with one a bit at Chelsea with that late equaliser. Great game though. As you know, I'm pretty high on Spurs this season, and I'm confident again for this one. I assume Conte's not going to be around after that dance routine with Tuchel, but I still think they're going to have enough to win this one. Home! Leeds v Chelsea. I'm loving Leeds' start so far. And given they were 2 up at Southampton with 20 to play, probably should have a perfect 6 rather than an excellent 4 points on the board. This, however, is a whole different punnet of grapes. Chelsea looked pretty at it against Spurs, didn't they? And even though the Ellen Road fans are going to tune into this big historical rivalry, I think it's going to be a tough one, and we could see a first loss of the season for Jesse Marsch. Away. We are halfway there. Brilliant support from you guys as ever this season. Please continue by hitting the thumbs up button and supporting the video and the channel. West Ham versus Brighton. This is one of those I don't like, where all the perceived wisdom points in one direction towards Brighton. Frankly, they've started the campaign with 4 points. West Ham have 0 and fell victims to the newly promoted momentum game of Nottingham Forest. They also have Europe on Thursday. Given the way the two teams play and all the trends pointing at Brighton, I'm going to go the opposite way and pull out my joker. Let's go for West Ham to cede the possession but to boss the penalty boxes. Home! Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa. Palace were very close to pulling off a shock win at Anfield on Monday, and despite only having 1 point, have had a pretty good go at an Arsenal-Liverpool opening double. Villa, I'm struggling to get a steady read on yet. Reading the comments here on the channel, their fans were pretty irritated after the opening day performance at Bournemouth. Much better to beat Everton, but not quite where they need to be in terms of consistent performance yet. I think this one's going to be a fairly tight one. I can't call it, so I'm going down the middle. Draw Everton versus Forest. Now, I know I've done my newly promoted tick list to death here, but well done, Forest. Lots of ticks. First goal, first clean sheet, first point, first win. All ticked off against West Ham. Lovely old job. And I think they're going to like the look of the timing and the kind of profile of this away game. As much as I love Frank Lampard, I think Steve Cooper will also fancy the touchline battle here. And if it does come down to manager vs manager, I think there's something there for them. I know I've pulled out my joker already once this show, but I think I'm going to do it again. Might we get some Forest joy here? Maybe so. Away! Manchester United versus Liverpool. What am I supposed to say for this one? Come on. Manchester United in utter disarray. Yes, Liverpool haven't won yet, but they've absolutely beaten up when they've played the Reds recently. Unless we get some weird big turn in fortune or something affects the game that we don't know about, surely it's a big fat away. Leicester versus Southampton. According to the goals for and goals against column, this one should be very entertaining and a nailed on both teams to score affair. Famous last words there, I'm sure. 0-0 incoming. Look, if it is an attacking fest, which I think it probably will be, then I think Leicester should have a bit more juice in those forward-thinking positions. Home! Get your predictions down there in the comments, and always remember, in the game of predicting the future, you can pick holes in other people's forecasts, but true credibility in this realm only really comes when you have a go at the predictions yourself. Stick with the channel, everybody. Amazing support as ever, as I suggested. Click here to see yesterday's dearly departed show looking at Brentford and possible second season syndrome. Or click here to see my journey last night to see the mighty Ipswich win. Well, get away with one, to be honest, up at Burton.